What's up? This is Unique Effects doing a tutorial for pixels. So when you open up the project, we have a basic setup here with the pixels text, all the letters aligned with adjustment layer on top here, creating the nice gradient and bevel effect. So what I'm going to do in this tutorial is to delete all of these, and we're going to create a word from scratch. So let's delete these. And let's take a look at the folders here. We have the alphabets, numbers, extras, and the pixel customization folder where we can make changes to the pixel and the animation. So a good workflow is to just find the letters you're going to use and just drag and drop them onto your composition. So we're going to create the word unique. So let's start dragging and dropping these. And finally the E. So now we have them all and nice and centered. The letters are a bit big, so let's scale all of these down to around 40. And I'm gonna move them to the right. And now we can start moving them onto the right position. So let's start with the U and just move it in there. And I'm not gonna be too precise. Let's just get about right. The N, I, U, and finally the E. That's almost correct. Let's get it a bit closer, like so. And now center the text. So now when we move in the timeline, the letters are forming the same time, so we need to create a bit of a gap between each letter. So let's create let's actually put them a second between. So U is on the 0 time mark, and these will come in later. So once again, let's make some space and start bringing the letters in. So N starts in the 1 second mark, the I in the 2 second mark, Q in the 3 second, U in the 4 second, and E in the 5 second mark. So now we have a nice flowing animation. So the best way to add some color or a bit of an effect to the letters is to create an adjustment layer on top of all of these. So adjustment layer will affect all the layers below it. So let's create an adjustment layer and see what that does. And we'll change the name of this to effects. So now when we drop a ramp to the adjustment layer, you can see everything is affected. So now we can just move the start of ramp and the end of ramp a bit closer to our text and pick any colors we want to use. So let's go with a nice pink, like so. And we can add some more effects. So let's add a bevel alpha to give nice beveled edges to our text. So let's set the preview to full so you can see it has some nice glowing on the edge or shading. And let's change the light angle to 0. So this is pretty much the most basic way to create your own word. So now let's take a look at the pixel itself and the animation path. So let's open up the pixel customization folder and open up the square graphic. And in here we have the basic pixel. We want it a bit more round and a bit of a gap to our text. So let's delete these. And we'll select the rounded rectangle tool and just double click here. And it creates a nice rectangle for us. And now let's take a look at the main composition. It's pretty nice, but we wanted a bit more gap between. So let's go back to the square graphic in the rectangle properties, rectangle path, and let's drop the size to 90 and the roundness to 10. So now we have a bit of a roundness and a nice gap around the rectangle itself. So now back into main composition, we have a nice looking text here. Next up, we want to change the animation path. So let's open up the animation composition. And you can see the keyframes here. We have the pixel coming in from the lower right corner and going out, just dropping out in the end here. So let's go to the first frame and start moving the position properties here. So you can see the animation path pops up and we can see where the pixel is coming from. So let's set this to the center and move it to the left here. And just in case if these aren't showing up, you can bring it up by pressing the U letter. So this shows all the keyframes. So now we have the square graphic coming in from the left, and we want to change the rotation a bit. It's starting from +90, so let's change that to -90. So now it rotates clockwise to the middle and stays there for a while, and in the end drops out. Once again, let's move, go to the last keyframe, change the position properties so it actually floats up like so, and now let's take a look, and that's perfect. So let's go to the main composition and preview this. So pretty soon, yeah, there they go, and that looks pretty nice. So that's the basics of editing pixels project file. One thing I want to show you guys is the first scene in the preview video, and that's gonna hopefully give you a good idea of the workflow and how you can make some bigger text things with this. So let's close this up, won't save, and open up the scene 1 project here. So you can see this was in the beginning of the preview video. We have the pixels text, the animated typeface, and the little heart in there. And you can see we have a main composition here, and all of the pixeled animations are in their own composition. So we have the pixels. Let's open that up. So you can see we have the basic form of animation here. The pixels just coming in white. And in the main composition, with the adjustment layer, we'll apply the bevel for it, and we'll add a ramp to it on our own. So let's turn off the ramp. You can see it's just white pixels. Then we have the animated, once again in a separate composition, and we open that up. You can see it's pretty small letters, but they're all right there. And it's just created in a separate composition, brought into the main composition where we can adjust the timing a bit more and add the separate different colors for it and all that. So this is the workflow you should use if you're gonna create some bigger project with this. So hopefully you understood everything. Please, if you have any questions or problems with this project, email me through the profile page on VideoHive. Thank you very, very much for the purchase and support. I really do appreciate it. So thanks a lot.